These two devices in front of me are Earthway Seeders. So the one on the right is the older model. You can often find them on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace for, I don't know, maybe around $35 to $50. The one on the left is new. You can find it for around $120 on Amazon. And these are very economical, very popular ways to do direct seeding on a farm or a market garden. And there are a few things they all have in common. One is they have seed plates. So this operates by dropping seeds into a hopper and then having seed plates that turn around and pick up the seeds and drop it into the ground. And so each plate, it usually comes with 6 plates that are standards, and you can order extra plates depending on what you're planting. But you've got them, every plate has a number and has what it's for on it. So this one, for example, is for lettuce and turnips, endives, cabbage, and onions and tomatoes, if you were to direct seed all of those. So each one, there's a sweet corn, beans, peas, beets, Swiss chard, other radishes, smaller peas, and then even really fine seeds like turnips. So it's very nice having all these options. You have to figure out which one works best for the seed that you're using, because sometimes your seed is larger or smaller than what their set holes are, and so you just switch out a plate. And then another option for it is to get this fertilizer side dresser, and so this attaches to it and just drops fertilizer below the ground right next to the plant. You usually do that maybe 3 weeks after planting out, say broccoli or something like that. It just needs a little extra boost. And so this side dresser is a very nice feature to have. Okay, so here are some of the features of the Earthway Seeder. First, you have the seed hopper. And so you dump your seeds in here, no matter if they're small, little lettuce seeds or large beans or something like that. You just have the right plate on here, and the plate spins around, picks up the seed, and drops it into this hole there. You also have the drive wheel. So once this kickstand is up and you're ready to go, this front wheel will be against the ground, and as you walk forward, this spins and it turns the belt behind here. The next, you have the adjustable plow. So this has a little wing nut on the back of this, and if you look, there's little depth gauges, so you can choose what depth you need for your seed. You lock this in place, and this will make a furrow, and then the seed is just dropped down a little chute here into the furrow. Then you have a drag chain that comes behind, and you do need loose soil for this. The drag chain fills soil back over the furrow, back over the seed. And then lastly, you have the packing wheel. So this wheel just rides over this the seed and the soil, and it just packs it down. And so you've got a nice solid seed to soil contact right there, and you're good to go. So now I'm going to show you how to install one of the seed plates. And you'll see on the plate, if you can, there's an on and off. It says it right there, and there's a little arrow. So to on, you lock it that way, off, you spin it this way. And basically, you just put it in here, line up the teeth with the plate, and then you just spin it, and it locks into place. And you'll see now that if I spin the wheel, the whole plate moves with it. Okay, inside this hopper, there's a line about halfway down, and that you don't want to have the seeds filled higher than that, because they'll just end up pouring down into the chute, and so you don't want that. You'll end up having 20 seeds per inch, and that's the last thing that you want. But as you're filling this up, you just take your seeds, you pour them down into here, and then you're ready to go. So you'll see now, as this spins, right now it's picking up a few more seeds, so I might have to change the plate, but it just picks it up, drops it down. Okay, now with these are pea seeds in here. So now that I've got the right size plate in here, you'll see as I turn this, it's just picking up a seed, dropping it down the hole. That one, a couple seeds went in, but for most part, one seed is going down per hole. You can see the peas dropping as I turn this wheel. So as I'd be moving forward in the field, it would be planting the peas right there. So you'll see that this hopper, it only picks up the seeds on one side. And I found that as you're going along, if you tilt this just a few degrees as you're walking, so it'll be on the right hand side, just tilt it to the right just a little bit, and it'll make sure to pick up all the seeds, and just one seed at a time. Sometimes if it's over to the left, it'll pick up multiple seeds, and then they'll pop out, and so you won't actually get a seed down the chute. But if you just lean it toward the right a little bit as you go along, you'll be having a much more even planting. So just a tip, as you're pushing this along the row, keep an eye on the hopper and make sure that the holes aren't plugged. It especially happens when you're using the much smaller seed plates. It's easy to do. Sometimes it's just a little bit of moisture that gets in and it'll stick the seeds to it. But if one of these is plugged up, then you're going to be skipping a space in your planting. So, and if more than one gets plugged up, then you're really going to be reducing your yields because you just won't be planting as much in your row as you would hope to. Once you're done planting and there's still some seeds left in the hopper, you just take the whole Earthway, lift it up, pour it out the side, and then you can take the seed plate and just slide it in the direction of off, which is turning it counterclockwise. Then your luck, it just pops right off there, just like that. Another trick that some people use is if they don't like the spacing, if they want to space something a little wider apart, like this one would be about every half inch or so it would drop a seed. They put a little piece of tape or just something on the outside to plug a hole. So maybe you plug 2 holes every 2 holes or something, and then you've got a much wider spacing. But I know some people use Scotch tape and it works for them. Other people use a silicone caulk, but that takes about almost half a day to cure. You just want to make sure that it's just on this outside face and not on the inside, because otherwise it's going to rub and you might get some really sticky stuff transferring all around the wheel. And there's a couple of maintenance tips. The most obvious one is just keep it clean. After each use, maybe hose it down, dry it off, because as you keep using it and as dirt and grime and grit gets into it, even though it doesn't have too many moving parts, it does wear on it after some time. Most of this is made out of pretty heavy-duty aluminum, but there are parts that are galvanized that do start to rust after a while. So you don't really need to oil it, but just keep it clean. And in the hopper, you rotate this backwards to take the seed plate off. And you just wipe off the inside of the disc and wipe off where this has been spinning, because oftentimes there's a lot of grime that gets stuck in there, and it can cause problems for next time when you're trying to seed, because it'll cause a lot of friction on this plate. If your soil is slightly damp, it'll stick to this wheel, and then as it builds up, you're actually spinning the wheel. It's not spinning at the right rate because it's thicker, and so you just need to make sure as you're going along you knock that soil off. And then on the back, on the other side, you have the belt. So you'll see as this is spinning, it's turning the belt, it's moving the belt, which moves this, which then turns the seed plate. But you can see in here there's actually some dirt that's built up inside of these teeth. And so if it were wet outside and I was trying to do this, this whole belt might actually slide on that mud as it got wet. And so just to make sure this belt has a good grip, hose off the whole thing, but make sure you get inside these teeth, inside this groove, so the belt is really grabbing on and it's turning at the right rate. One feature that not everyone uses on the Earthways, but I find them to be pretty handy, is they come with a row marker. And so most of the time this is folded up and just kind of attached with a rubber band inside the unit. But you'll see there's an aluminum drag right here with a point, and I've marked 12 inches and 18 inches on this bar. And so as you're walking along with the unit, you know, depending on where the next row you want is going to be, you know, is it going to be 18 inches, or there's like a little wing nut under here, you loosen it. Maybe I just want it 12 inches apart for carrots or something like that. And as you walk, this drags and leaves a nice straight line behind it. And so what's really important when you're seeding is that your rows are parallel, because you might be running, you know, you might be taking a hoe or a wheel hoe or even a cultivating tractor over it. And if your rows aren't parallel, your chances are you're going to, as you're weeding or cultivating, you might hit one of your rows. So this helps you mark your next row, and then when you go back down your next row, you just take your wheel and follow that pathway down. And I found that these bars break off really easily, and for our newer model it broke off within 3 months. But you might just have to get a bolt, get a stronger bolt and attach it. But some people never use this and just take it off. But I do find it very handy, and just go on it and mark it with a permanent marker, the spaces that you tend to use, and then you'll have that for future use. Okay, and next I'm going to show you how to put on the side dresser, the Earthway side dresser. And so it's nice. It's just gravity fed. It's just a big hopper with a. It's got this lever here, and you can adjust it to off, number 1 setting, number 2 setting, number 3. And so, like, number 1 would be dropping 1 pound per 100 feet. 2 would be 2 pounds per 100 feet, and setting 3 would be 3 pounds per 100 feet. It's pretty simple. This is the model number 1500. There's another one that just drops the fertilizer on top of the soil. This one uses the little plow on the seeder to drop it below the soil, which I really like. So I'll show you how to put it on. So with the hopper, you've got 2 sets of hooks, this bottom hook, this top hook, or top set of hook, and then this little point fits into that plow area that I talked about earlier, that adjustable plow. So it feeds right down into that hole. So you just try to line everything up, get the top hook, bottom hook, and the point all set up. There you go. So these top hooks are locked in, these bottom hooks are locked in, and this chute goes straight down into this little adjustable plow setting. So as you go along, the fertilizer is just going to drop down here, go to the depth that you want, maybe set it at 1 inch or 2 inches. The soil is going to be covered up again with this chain, then packed down. And so side dressing is what you do next to your plant, maybe 3 inches away from the plant. So it's just some fertilizer and nutrients that you put down that the roots can reach to, and it really helps them pop, especially with things like brassicas, like kales and broccolis, where after a few weeks they're just needing a little extra boost of energy. So this is a great feature. It's not too much money, but it works surprisingly well, and it doesn't take too long to walk down a row. Just a little note of warning that since it is gravity fed, when you stop, it'll keep on feeding. So the fact that this wheel isn't spinning, you don't have anything in this hopper. So this really does nothing. Everything's gravity fed. So when you stop, it's just going to keep pouring fertilizer down. So you got to be on top of it. If you hit a rock and pause for a second, either quickly take this, twist it and turn it off, or just keep on walking. But it's a great feature, and I highly recommend it. When you're going to use your Earthway Seeder, it's very important to prep the soil ahead of time. So get your amendments in, and if you can either till it with a tiller, or you can even use a fork and a rake or something just to fluff the soil up, just so you've got a couple inches of space where that little plow can push through and go into here, and then the chain can close up behind it. If you have really packed soil, it's just not going to work well, and the seeds are going to sit on top. So a nice crunched up soil, something that's been tilled, is the best way to go. And this is kind of rocky soil, but it really doesn't matter. The seeds will find a way. And next I'm going to show you how to mark the rows using that side marker on the Earthway Seeder. And then we're going to just go seed. Put the seeder down, find the middle, and then just go. Okay, so now I'm about to seed 6 rows of carrots. We're doing 2 rows, or 6 beds of carrots. We're doing 2 rows per bed. We've marked the lines, got the carrot seed in here in the right plate, and we've got this adjusted to the correct depth. Pull the kickstand up, make sure the chain's behind, and then we go. You might be able to see seeds slowly dropping down, gets buried, and the chain drags behind it and covers it up, and then this wheel tamps it down. So it's just all in one. It drops it, buries it, and tamps it down. That easy. Here's a bed planted with the Earthway Seeder about a week or so ago. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows to it. All of them are about maybe 5 inches apart or so. And these are loose leaf lettuce. So this will be lettuce that'll come in, and we'll just cut the top of it. And over here is what it looks like after it's been growing for a while. On the right hand, it's been harvested. On the left hand, we're going to go through and just top it, and this will be a lettuce mix. So the Earthway Seeder is pretty handy for this. You can get 4 and 5 row seeders, but the Earthway, if that's what you have, you can use that and it works just as well.